and I'm your host, Dana Miliore. I hope you are doing well today. Happy 2024. Welcome to the new year. Let's get manifesting what we want for this year. And again, this is part 4 of our 4-part series of the Spirit Ascension Method. And in part 4, we discuss about transforming your reality. And in this stage of the Spirit Ascension Method, we use the sensories in our brain, our imagination, our third eye, and our intuition, and our RAS, which is the reticular activating system that resides within our brain, to actually harness our natural manifesting capabilities, because everything again is a manifestation. But we dig deep in working and utilizing these tools that everybody has. Some of us are more naturally in tune with these capabilities, and some of us, we've naturally kind of blocked them out. But no matter where you are, you can always begin to activate these sensories that you have to excel your experience at creating your own reality around you. First and foremost, the one thing that you must accept, and it might be hard to accept this in the beginning. I know it was for me, especially from what I went through, but you've created everything up to this point in your life. All the good, all the bad, you are the creator. When you accept that and you're able to detach yourself from the victimization of what happened to you and let go of past incidents that held a lot of trauma for you, and you begin to get excited about what you can create in the future, now this is where the magic really unfolds. And so in this Spirit Ascension Method, what we start to enhance and get really good at is allowing our brain waves to slow down. We utilize alpha brain waves, theta brain waves, and delta. You will literally learn how to train your body to tap into these states of alpha and theta to enhance your manifesting. And these also enhance your natural healing capabilities. It also enhances your intuition. And delta will just be utilizing while we slumber. I myself can't hit a delta brainwave while in conscious state. I can definitely do theta because I've practiced and trained myself for a while, but delta will be utilizing while we slumber. So there's things that we set in motion into our mind and we want to embed into our subconscious before we go to bed, so that when our brain waves are in the delta state, that's when the laws of the universe, the leveraging of the power of your subconscious begins to take form. So super powerful stuff. Now, visualization may come easy to you. It may not come easy to you. But visualization is something that anybody can practice and master and become really good at, even if you haven't utilized that in your adult stage of life, because each and every one of us used this when we were little. Your imagination was untampered with, and you were able to be in your grandma's house or someone's house and picture it as a castle. You could literally imagine. Playing was so fun because your imagination just excelled. You were in a different realm. You were in a different reality when you placed yourself there. And I know that was for me and a lot of the kids that I grew up with and family and cousins. And I know I'm not alone in this. Or when you're a kid, your imagination is untampered with, and it is amazing at what you can create in your mind, which has amazing impacts on your belief system, your thoughts, and your energy. So energy is key here. Energy is a huge component to all of this. And again, our subconscious does not know the difference between something we are imagining and something that's actually happening. And so why that's important is because there's been many times in our life where something has happened and it traumatized us in a way, it really impacted us emotionally. And so when something really impacts us emotionally, we're going to store that, whether we're aware of it or not, into our subconscious. And our subconscious mind is what's really creating About 95% of what's going on in our waking life is actually residing from what's going on within our subconscious. So that's where we want to start. That's where we want to dig deep to the root of the issue, because you could have something in your subconscious that is blocking you from creating what it is you want. You could have a fear in your subconscious about, if you did create this thing that you want, the ripple effect it would have on your life, the relationships, how that would affect in your life, where you would live. All these things come into play. And that energetically can either excel you towards it or hinder you and keep you where you are and withhold it from you. So what are the best actions to take when transforming your reality? Well, I'll tell you this: imagination is key. Work with it, play with it. Begin to picture things in your mind. And the best way to do that is not just closing your eyes and mentally picturing it in your mind's eye, which is amazing, but also picturing it outside of you. So say I have my eyes closed, but I am imagining there's this huge TV screen at a 45-degree angle above the line of horizon. So the line of horizon is like your eyesight. So about 45 degree above that. So there's a big screen in front of you. Okay. And you can keep your eyes open for this, and we'll also be closing our eyes for this in the Spirit Ascension Method. But we are playing out the scene on the screen. So if it's helpful for you right now, try to imagine that screen. Make that your exercise, to just try and imagine something that is not there. And then play around with it. Picture an apple on it. What color is the apple? Right? What's the color behind the apple? Is it black? Is it red? Is it green? You can start changing the imagery behind that object that you've put on that screen. This is like exercising that muscle in your mind for your visualizations. And again, for a lot of you, this comes naturally. This is fun. You do this already, which is perfect. And for some of you, I've never done this. This seems weird. This is awkward for me, but that's okay. Because anything we do differently, our body is built to have habitual patterns, and it's used to what it's used to. So if you're not doing that and then you go to do it, it's going to be a little bit of a challenge for you in the beginning to break through the barrier of your body not wanting to do it because it's unfamiliar to you. You have to push through that. That's how you actually overcome a lot of habits that are no longer good for you, or how to create better habits that are healthier for you. And so I highly recommend spending some time, however's comfortable to you. If imagining the screen isn't comfortable for you, then forget about it. Just imagine in your mind's eye, like looking behind your eyelids. That's fine too. The point here is that I want you to be comfortable. Now, if someone was like, what's the next level I can do for unlocking my visualization, my imagination, and these sensories in my brain, would be to start picturing that screen and start utilizing this as your, I call it the mental movie, because you're going to play a movie out on the screen. But if that's uncomfortable to you, imagine it however you can, because I don't want the process of the whole screen hindering you and not taking action on it because it feels too difficult or uncomfortable for you. So do what's comfortable for you and start working out this sensory in your brain. Have fun with it. Imagine the best thing that could happen in your life. Imagine you having one of the greatest experiences and how that affects your family, your loved ones. Play around with that. Also, test the water with your senses when you're imagining. Like, can you feel things? How they would feel, like how water would feel, the temperature of the water, the sun on your face, and how that feels. How a bed of grass would feel if you laid your hand in it. Obviously, when we're using our senses, a lot of it is our sight. We can see through our third eye. When we close our eyes, we can still see things, right? But can you hear things? Can you smell things? Can you touch things? Can you taste things in your imagination? Some of these senses will be stronger than others. Maybe none will feel strong. Maybe all of them seem very good. It all depends what you've unlocked already and is natural to you. And if it doesn't feel natural, it will become natural the more you practice it. This is why we got to start working out. This is your first day in the gym, maybe. And so it's not going to feel like you have a huge results on your body yet, and that you had to take little steps. And you're thinking about all this other stuff that you got to do. Let's take it one day at a time. The first day in the gym, maybe you're a regular in the gym, and now you're just starting a new exercise, so it's exciting for you. It depends where you are in your journey on this, okay? But I promise you, when you take time out of your day to practice this, even for 5 minutes, grab my Ascension Workbook. If you have not done so yet, it's at the link below where you're watching this, whether on YouTube or you're listening on Spotify or Apple. Grab that there. There's going to be exercises for you to try in there that explain this process I'm talking about. So utilize that. Take 5 minutes. Maybe 5 minutes today you're just reading on it. And maybe 5 minutes tomorrow you're going to practice it. Set that intention for yourself. Because I'm telling you, the more you do this, the more it's going to feel good, the more strength you're going to have, the more it's going to unlock. And this is a whole part of consciously creating reality, because it all begins within our thoughts and our minds and what we feel like. Okay, because our brain, it's like sending out the frequency of what we want. And what attracts it really to us is our heart. The energy field of our heart and what we feel in our emotions is really what's pulling our experiences to us. It's really important to play with both your mind and your emotions when you're manifesting. And if I just rewind back a little bit and go back to part 1 of this 4-part series, is your soul connection, connecting with that inner soul part of you, having that communication, understanding your internal guidance system, okay? And then we go to part 2 of part 4, is your perceptions of reality and how they are really creating your experience. You know, and what limiting ones do you have that are blocking you from obtaining what you want? Okay, so that's a huge component too. And then 3 out of 4, the renew your energy, okay? Because your energy has so much to do with your whole experience and what you feel like, how you show up in the world. And so learn to align your energy, because when your energy is aligned, all of these other processes that we do become so much easier. When your energy's all fucked up and messed up, and then you try to sit there and imagine things, but your energy's not there yet, it feels a lot more difficult on you. So that is another huge component. And so now we're on the last one, where we utilize our intuition, our imagination, our visualization capabilities, our brain waves, the sensories we have in the brain, to manipulate matter and energy around us, in your frequency that resides in your body and the energy that resides in your body. So you can start pulling the people, the places, and the circumstances to you. You know, a lot of the times when I'm coaching somebody and they're having a difficult time making a decision, you know, like weighing the pluses, the pros, the cons, and the minuses, and all of that to weigh out what the best option is. Because that's what I used to do too. So I'm very familiar with really trying to make sure we make the right choice. And that's what led me to be so indecisive in life, because I didn't want to make the wrong choice. Making a choice is really hard for me. And I don't know if you can relate with that. But if you can, then listen up. Don't worry about trying to figure out what choice you're going to need to make. Just, what do you want as the end result? What is the end result emotion you would feel from, regardless of the decision, him, her, he, this job, that job, whatever, you know, if you're trying to figure out certain things about your life, what is it you want? And what is that emotion and end result will make you feel like? And work on cultivating that emotion within your body, in your heart, in your mind, regardless of the circumstances around you. And then the right situation for that will attract itself to you. And then it will be so much easier to make the decision, because it'll be coming to you. Instead of you sitting there looking at your crossroads, like, I can either go this direction or this direction, and trying to like work out what way is better. That's a harder way of going about creation. That leaves you exhausted, that leaves you with anxiety and stress, and you're just unsure. Well, if you create it first, what the end result will be, and you can cultivate that in your mind, your body, your heart, you can meditate that on that and sit on that without making the decision, not rush to make the decision. Spend time cultivating it. The end result within you. You'll attract the right circumstance to you. So much easier going about creation that way. And so, in the Spirit Ascension Method, I bring you through that process with imagining in your mind. There's audios, there's exercises to listen to. There's a guided meditation that will unlock your intuition. And if it's already unlocked, enhance already your intuition, which is something everybody should be doing. It's a natural way to protect yourself against bad things that can happen. And it's also the key to listening to the realities that we can't really see. Because our sensories only allow us to see specific frequencies here on this plane of existence, is what we call Earth, and our sensories like see, hear, smell, taste, touch. That's a specific frequency. But there's energies and there's things going on around us that we can't see. Just like when a fan is off and you can see the fan, the blade, and the fan turns on, it goes really, really fast. And then it's like almost the fan disappeared. It's almost invisible. You can't really see it. It's because of the frequency now that it's moving at, it's hard to see. So that's like the same with the realities around us. And so unlocking your intuition, you're like unlocking the door to this consciousness. And so it's very powerful and protection for you that you're naturally born with. Everybody has it. And again, some are more naturally inclined than others, and that's just going to be like that with everything, right? But that doesn't mean you can't unlock it and tune to it and utilize that for your protection, for your guidance, and for your creation. So again, if you have not grabbed the Ascension Workbook, it's absolutely free. Grab it through the link below this video or this podcast episode and utilize the exercises in there. And if you have a question, make sure you reach out and ask me about it. Or maybe there's something that sparks a story in you or something you want to share. Well, my door is open. So utilize that. And make sure you reach out and talk to me about it so it doesn't hinder your process. And you can move forward with practicing these things that are life-changing techniques that I've learned from spiritual leaders all around the world, and what the best of the best was for me, and that really was easy to teach other people. I put it all together so that anybody can learn this process at a faster pace. They don't have to spend time learning one thing from this person and another thing from this person, and then spend money learning this and then spend money learning that. I'm like, honestly, I'm glad I did it, because that's what I did. I've spent over $20,000 over 15 years of studying this information. And what I came to find out was that a lot of manifestation, spiritual programs out there aren't combining the most powerful techniques all together, which is your soul connection, raising to higher consciousness, which is understanding how your mind works, what's limiting you, your perceptions of reality, learning how to change them, but also working with your energy and removing the energetic blocks in your body, in your auric field, in your energy pathways. And then learning to utilize your brain, your imagination, your visualization capabilities to transform the reality around you. And that's how the Spirit Ascension Method was born. For more information on the Spirit Ascension Method, reach out to me on social media or use a link below that you can actually schedule a one-on-one face-to-face where we could discuss more about the Spirit Ascension Method. That is also available to you below this video or below the podcast episode you are listening to. Utilize these things. Make sure you grab the Ascension Workbook. And if you followed me through this whole 4-part series, I really appreciate you being here, and I can't thank you enough. And I'm really excited to see what next week's episode is going to be all about. So if you have not subscribed yet, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And if you've resonated with a lot of the information in this video, make sure to hit like or share this with someone that you feel will value from this information. And I'll see you next week.
Did you like this episode? If so, make sure to subscribe to the podcast. Are you an expert at creating your own reality? Do you have a story to tell that drastically changed your life? If so, message me at Dream Creation Podcast on Instagram, and don't forget to leave a review.